Ole Miss starting their backup quarterback. Tim Tebow stops by the show, and our celebrity guest picker segment continues. Locked On SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome into Locked On SEC. It's great to have you guys along on today's show. We'll get you caught up with the latest news going on around the SEC. Tim Tebow will stop by. We'll talk with him ahead of the big Oklahoma-Auburn game happening this weekend. And our celebrity guest picker segment continues. We'll see if this guy can have a better record than the folks the past 3 weeks. I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Shout out to our everydayers. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. Today's episode brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward, Mazda, Move and Be Move. All right, we got to jump into the biggest news in the SEC. And we start over at Ole Miss as Trinidad Chambliss is going to start again for Ole Miss in a big non-conference game against a really talented Tulane team. On three's Chris Lowe breaking that news on Thursday evening. Report comes after Lane Kiffin told reporters a couple of days ago that he expected Austin Simmons to start against Tulane, but it looks like perhaps the healing process has not been as quick as they hoped for Austin Simmons. But Chambliss, obviously coming in this offseason, transferred from Division II Ferris State. He was really good in their win against Arkansas last week. He was 21 of 29 for 353 yards with a passing touchdown, also rushed for 62 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. And it's been very impressive to watch him ever since he's gotten in the program. Apparently has impressed a lot of people. He impressed on the field, and he will get another opportunity. Austin Simmons, of course, got injured in that game against Kentucky, was available in limited fashion against Arkansas. In fact, he came into the game. Chambliss hurt his thumb in the game, which started bleeding. So he had to leave the game to go take care of that. Austin Simmons came in, played 4 snaps, threw a touchdown in his limited time. So kind of interesting where it's like, okay, was he the emergency quarterback? Was he hurt, but just not hurt enough to not play? Anyway, Chambliss, a little bit of a diamond in the rough here for Lane Kiffin. Was ranked as the number 60 quarterback in the transfer portal. That's 60. And again, this is a really good Tulane team. John Summerall has done a great job coaching up. So this is going to be an interesting test for him. Look, he did against Arkansas last week. I think we can kind of look at it and admit Arkansas maybe not the best defense in the SEC this year. In fact, they'll probably rank near the bottom. But nonetheless, we'll see what Tulane's defense can do to try to slow down Chambliss in this one. But after this, no rest for the weary. Ole Miss gets LSU coming to Oxford next week. And let's just say Chambliss looks awesome again. Do you stick with Chambliss another week? Do you go back to Austin Simmons? That'll be a discussion for next week, if and when that happens. So we'll discuss that later down the road. All right, let's get to some other news. How about over at Texas? Steve Sarkisian talking to the media Thursday about Arch Manning. It's been a big topic throughout the week. Sark said, look, we see and we know what Arch looks like. He's had a great week, and I'm proud of him for that. Basically, he's saying that he looks great at practice. Sark said Thursday, the Manning that he sees in practice is not the same Manning that the nation sees on game day. Of course, the Longhorns came into the season as national championship contenders. Arch was the prohibitive favorite for the Heisman Trophy, and he's just not looked the part. Throw for 579 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, completing just 55.3% of his passes. They will get Sam Houston State this week, who is dreadful, 0-3 and gotten blown out basically in all 3 of their games. So expect Texas to look really good this week. They'll get a bye week after this week, and then they'll head to the Swamp to play Florida. And who knows what Florida's even going to look like by the time we get to that one. Longhorns 39.5-point favorite on FanDuel. One more note here. How about Lenore Sellers? We know that he returned to practice this week ahead of their South Carolina's game against Mizzou. Shane Beamer and his squad set for a big test in this one, trying to keep the train on the tracks. Of course, Sellers was knocked out of the game against Vanderbilt last weekend, shortly before halftime with a concussion. And still unclear whether or not Sellers will absolutely suit up for the Gamecocks, but it's trending in the right direction. Pete Nakos reporting that he was on the practice field on Thursday. So big news for South Carolina, but what percentage healthy is he? We shall see. Mizzou sitting at about a 9.5, 10-point favorite, according to FanDuel. So, look, South Carolina, they're going to have to do something special to pull off the upset. And lastly, the SEC set a date to reveal their 2026 conference schedule. They will reveal their conference schedule and permanent rivals next week, September 23rd. The SEC will reveal their 9-game schedule and each team's 3 permanent rivals. Now, they did say they're calling them annual opponents. And basically, putting a caveat here that the annual opponents will be reviewed every 4 years. So, look, everybody's waiting to see who's going to get who. There was already a report out there that Tennessee was going to get Alabama and Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Again, we'll wait to see what the official word is coming out next week. We know, Iron Bowl will be protected. Alabama, Tennessee, the biggest rivalries. Auburn, Georgia. But what'll be all the other dominoes to fall? And again, we get to see what 9 conference games you get. To me, this is easy, right? We played a schedule last year. This year, we just flipped home and away. You played those same opponents. I think next year, you should play majority of the teams you didn't play the last 2 years. But, you're going to have some repeats with the permanent opponents. And then, of course, playing 9 games, somebody's going to repeat somewhere. But regardless, I don't know if I like the idea of reevaluating it every 4 years. Like, the whole idea of having permanent rivalries is to have permanent rivalries. When you're going to call them, we're going to call them annual opponents because we might change them every 4 years. Kind of defeats the purpose, right? But again, SEC going to go do whatever the SEC thinks. But again, we need Texas has to play Oklahoma. Texas has to play A&M. We got to preserve the big rivalry games. All right, more to come here on Locked On SEC, part of Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. Coming up next, we will visit with the GOAT, Tim Tebow, right here on Locked On SEC. Hey, but first, I want to remind you guys about our friends at Mazda. This episode brought to you by Mazda's Moving the Game Forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, and keep moving the game forward. And this week's moment that moved the game forward, how about LSU's defense last week against Florida? They were lights out. DJ Lagway. I had so many people ask me this week, what's wrong with DJ Lagway? And I had to almost get to a point and go, how about you ask how good is LSU's defense? The secondary with 5 interceptions on DJ Lagway. Pretty impressive. They kept that game moving forward in favor of LSU. And LSU 6 interceptions all of last season for their defense. So far, 6 interceptions through 3 games for LSU's defense. So when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. It is Mazda. Move and be moved. This episode also brought to you by our friends at Wayfair. The weather is going to start cooling down here real soon. The days will start getting shorter, and that'll have you wanting to make your home feel even cozier. And when it comes to cozifying your space this fall, Wayfair is the place to go. Wayfair has everything you need to set the mood for the season, whether it's comfy recliners, warm bedding, autumn decor, or even an espresso machine. You can make your favorite latte at home. Wayfair has got you covered. Of course, the delivery going to be fast, free, and hassle-free, which makes a huge difference when you're refreshing your home. It is the perfect time to set up your home for fall so you can get to enjoying those cozy nights in with family and friends. Cozify your space with Wayfair's curated collection of easy, affordable fall updates, from comfy recliners to cozy bedding and autumn decor. You'll find it all for way less at wayfair.com. That is WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Rolling along here, and a pleasure now to be talking to a guy who is, of course, one of the hosts of SEC Nation. You see him on your TV every Saturday from an SEC campus across the South. Of course, former Heisman Trophy winner, baseball player, author. I mean, the list goes on and on of his resume. You know him. He was the 2009 Good Works team member, Allstate Werfel Trophy recipient, and doing some great work with the Allstate team, as he always does. He is Tim Tebow. Tim, welcome in, man. I really appreciate you jumping on with us.
Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate you having me.
It feels like it hasn't been that long since I saw you down in New Orleans, and of course all the great stuff that you do with Allstate and AFCA Good Works team, and you guys just unveiled the team this week, and it got me thinking, Tim, with all the negative stuff going on right now in our world, it's good to have some positivity like this, some good people doing some good things.
It is, and it's great to be able to highlight these 22 young men, and then Coach Venables, like to be able to celebrate, look at what they're doing, whether it's Adam Randall from Clemson, who's ministering in South Carolina to South Africa, or Richie Leonard, FSU offensive lineman, that is going to Argentina for mission trips and then hosting camps and making such a radical difference. And he's doing a really good job of, I'm going to highlight an FSU player. But, just so many, Michael Tapp from Texas or Josh Caddis from Kentucky, or so many different guys that are doing amazing work. And I just think it is so important to highlight them, especially for the next generation and people to be able to watch, to be able to have role models and heroes for the young boys and girls that are looking for role models. And then, to be able to see the impact they're making in lives and communities, and the real difference that they're making. I just think it is so special. And this is why I'm so grateful to still have a chance to be a part of this award and celebrate these 22 young men. And I just love the Allstate AFC Good Works team, because they're truly celebrating the impact that is being made and not just the game that is being played.
ESPN.com/Allstate is where you can go to see the full team, and of course you can also vote as well. We'll tell you more on that.
Yes, we need you to go there, because we need you to go vote on who you believe the team captain. So read the bios and watch the videos and understand the young men, so that you can go vote. And because the team captain will also receive the Allstate Werfel Trophy, and it is such a special award that we need you guys to go vote.
I do want to talk more on the team in just a minute, but I want to talk some football with you if we could real quick. And first off, I want to ask you, how's dad life going? Because I know you've been posting a lot of stuff on social media, and man, so happy for you. You and your family look so happy.
Yeah, it's so sweet. There's still a whole lot of learning that takes place. I remember when we got back from the hospital, we sat Daphne, our little girl, in the bassinet, and I'm like, okay, Demi, what do we do now? And it's just, we're just learning every day. And we have so many amazing people that have encouraged us and coached us in different areas. And so it's constant learning and adapting, but man, it's a crazy blessing.
Yeah, as a quarterback, you got a playbook. You're in control of the huddle. You know what you're doing. As a dad, there's no playbook. It's like
there's no playbook. Nobody gave me a playbook for this. So it's pretty awesome, though.
Just a couple football questions for you. I want to start, obviously, first, DJ Lagway, super talented kid. Had the chance to interview him at Media Days. Just mature beyond his years. Really good kid. But his first SEC road experience didn't go well. 5 interceptions down at LSU. What would you tell him about trying to shake off that performance? Because no rest for the weary. Florida's got some challenging games coming up. Start with Miami this weekend.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier right now. I would encourage him and remind him how good he is, and to believe in himself, and to don't lose faith and don't doubt, and go out there and keep ripping. And yes, there's obviously areas to improve, but also in a time when it's it just doesn't go your way, and he didn't perform the way that he wanted to be able to continue to not lose confidence and keep that belief, because the last thing any quarterback can do is lose confidence, because now you're hesitating, now you're questioning, and you just can't be your best in that mode. So to keep that confidence high and stay aggressive with your mindset, and even the way you practice this week leading into another big game against a top 10 team.
I'm curious what you've seen on film from Arch Manning. Everybody's guessing, is he hurt? Is it mechanics? Is it mental? From what you've seen, your perspective, what is it with Arch, why he's not performing to the level we thought he would?
Well, I think what's really important to understand is he hasn't played a whole lot of football. He hasn't played that many games. He's still getting used to the offense, learning, adapting, and growing as a young quarterback that is still doing some things well, but you could still see at times there's certain timing issues where maybe he's late in getting through a progression. Maybe he's just not on the same page as a receiver. He's still making plays in different areas, but I think part of that will come when he continues to used to the timing with his receivers and backs also. And then I think there was so much hype as well that, sometimes it's very easy to try to force it to make the big play versus just going through your reads and understanding the defense and taking what they give you. And I think he will continue to learn and adjust and improve as a player. And I think it's very easy to kind of jump to a side when I think, okay, he's started 5 games now? Like, let's continue to let him develop and grow. And I believe that he will.
I'm curious. There's been a lot of great quarterback play so far in the SEC from Diego Pavia, John Mateer, Taylon Green. Is there a quarterback that's impressed you most so far?
All of those guys have looked fantastic. I've loved so much of John Mateer, what he does, his ability to get it out quick from the pocket. He can be very dynamic. He's super twitchy. I mentioned this last week on SEC Nation, but there's a piece of him and just that twitchiness that reminds me a little bit of like a Johnny Manziel. And it's just, he's got some unique ability. I also love the way Diego Pavia is playing. His heart, his physicality, his accuracy, many times that doesn't get brought up. His ability to throw the deep ball, throw the comeback on the run, rolling to the left, and he's been ripping it, no problem. So I love it. And then Taylon Green, and Bobby Petrino's offense, that's also insanely dynamic. And he looks like he's jogging and he's outrunning DBs like crazy. So you're right. Those guys are playing extremely well and fun to watch.
Obviously, Norris Sellers got injured last week. He was at practice this week, so it sounds like he's going to go. Is that the smart decision? Even if he's not 100%, an injured or hurt Lenore Sellers still gives you a better chance than maybe what's behind him?
I think it'd be really important to understand the injury and everything behind it, which I doubt has really all been shared. So, inside the building, whatever they're really hearing to understand what's best for the young man. But I think it is a really important game. Missouri is a really good football team. I love the way Ahmad Hardy is running it. Their offensive line is getting push up front. Bo Prabula is played extremely well with his legs, decision making, and then especially deep ball accuracy or second level accuracy. I see their defense continuing to improve. So I really like the belief of this Missouri team. So for South Carolina, yeah, I don't think in your 3 games that South Carolina has played probably what they would call to be an A game. And even against Virginia Tech week 1, first drive, you go right down the field, but really didn't do anything offensively after it. Last week, first drive went right down the field and really didn't do anything after it. And so I think South Carolina's focus just has to be, let's just try to play our A game. Let's try to play our A game. Let's try to execute. There's still so much talent. They're a very physical team. They can run the football. They have playmakers. But taking that and turning it into execution and efficiency is what really needs to happen. So I'm really excited about watching this one.
One more football question for you. I know you guys are headed to Norman, Auburn. This is the big test for them.
It's the nation's first time in Norman. So I'm excited.
Yeah, very cool. And, look, they've been accepted into the arms of the SEC so far, but the big test for both sides, right? Oklahoma already has a nice resume win over Michigan, but this is SEC play now, and it's all about how much Jackson Arnold, I think, has elevated Auburn. Are they ready for this test?
Yeah, that's going to be really fascinating. Plus, Jackson Arnold coming back to Norman, I think that just adds to the storylines, but I've really loved the way that Brent Venables has developed this team and the changes that he made and the way the defense flies around and the aggression. And if you do watch this team, they play fast, they play hungry, they play violent. I like the way that they show up. It's something that if you watch them and you're an Oklahoma fan, it's something that has to get you excited. There's the energy that they play with, the aggression they play with. It's the way that they kind of 4 to 6 seconds of relentless effort. It's very contagious as a fan of the game. And I'm excited to see, we'll really finally see what Auburn's going to be this year. I think we saw a little bit against Baylor week 1, but I think this is going to be their first real true test. And with their receiver play being so improved, Ken Coleman, Singletary, just so many different guys that are playmakers. And then a defense that's really improved. Their front four can get after the passer. They have a lot more speed. So that I think they have the talent to match up, but I think what's really important is to watch the execution. And then I think you got to give John Mateer a bunch of different looks. And although he is an elite quarterback, he also believes in himself a whole lot, that he can throw into some tight windows. And let's see if you can force one of those to be a tip overthrow and a big turnover that I think Auburn will need at Norman.
Talk with the GOAT, Tim Tebow. Tim, I want to remind again our listeners, the Allstate AFCA Good Works team unveiled 22 college football players and one head coach. Extraordinary commitment to community service. And again, ESPN.com/Allstate. You can go cast your vote. But man, two of these guys I got to meet and talk with at Media Days were Michael Taff at Texas, Josh Caddis at Kentucky. I asked Caddis, what do you like to do in your spare time? The first thing he jumped to was working in my community, doing stuff to help people. And normally the first answer, Tim, they go, oh, playing video games or something like that. So yeah. Cool to hear that from these guys and just great role models in their community.
They really are great role models. I think it's so important. I had heroes, role models. Danny Werfel was one of mine. It's awesome to be able to celebrate him, the Allstate Werfel Trophy. So many others, and these young men get to be role models for the next generation, especially those in their community. And I just think that is so important. And not everybody around the country might know Josh Caddis as a tight end at Kentucky. But you know what? For people to be able to see what a young man at this time is being asked to do on the field, but is willing to do off the field, that can be inspiring for maybe people that have never got to watch him play, but would say, hey, that is awesome. That's contagious. That's making a difference in my heart and in our community. And I just think that's what's so special. And that's why I love getting the chance to be able to come on here and share these stories, because there's so much that's made about the game, but this is made about the impact that these young men that love the game and play the game, but most of them would say it's even more important is what they're doing in their communities.
Real quick, you've played football, you played baseball. Have you played pickleball with Danny Werfel? Because he's pretty good at it.
No, he's not pretty good. He's really good. Like, it's ridiculous. It's a joke how good he is. And he's, so focused, and it's ridiculous. Like, we've been getting together for the Heisman Trophy the last few years, and for the award, and playing some, and to support his ministry. And he's for reals, and he takes it very serious.
He is Tim Tebow. Again, the website is ESPN.com/Allstate. You can go vote there. Tim, appreciate the time, man. Best of luck. I know you got the new book coming. You got the baby. Congrats on all your success, man, and best of luck moving forward. All right.
Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
We'll be back right after this. Hey, this episode is brought to you by Square, your favorite neighborhood spots run on Square. There are certain businesses that truly make the neighborhood feel like home, whether it's the local sports bar packed on game days, the coffee shop that knows your order by heart, or the corner deli that's been serving your community for decades. These are all places that bring people together. And when neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Look, there's a local spot in our neighborhood. It's alive every Sunday during football season. Everyone's in their team colors. The energy is incredible. Feels like the entire block is in there cheering. It's the kind of place where you walk in and everybody knows your name, if you know what I'm talking about. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/LockedOnCollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You're going to be happy you did. It is square.com/go/LockedOnCollege. Square, see you in the neighborhood. And hey, it is almost the weekend, guys, and it's time to look back and crown our MVP this week on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streak, saving more every time you order. Players we talk about deliver when it mattered most. So jumping into it, of course, we have been talking a lot this week about Ahmad Hardy for Mizzou. 250 rushing yards last week. Just absolutely incredible. They were trying to run the clock, trying to get that game over with against Louisiana Monroe, and Ahmad Hardy helped them get to that. But 3 straight weeks of 100-yard rushing. Ahmad Hardy, he has been awesome. We'll see what he does against South Carolina this weekend. But just like Ahmad Hardy delivers for Mizzou, DoorDash delivers your Saturday. So DoorDash streaks, you save every Saturday you order, stack it up all season, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday, keep the streak alive, fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply, promo period through 11/18. And again, if your team doesn't win, you'll be winning with DoorDash streaks this weekend. Check them out. Roll along here, Locked On SEC, and it's a Friday tradition here on Locked On SEC, our celebrity guest picker segment. And every week we bring in a celebrity guest picker to help us make some picks. And this week we head out to grab our guy Jake Crane from Crane and Company. Jake, welcome in, man. The pressure is on. You got a lot of people counting on you to make some picks this week.
Look, your boy started off the season hot from a betting standpoint, so I think you caught me at the right time. But I appreciate you having me on, Gordy, and man, let's get it.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick at our standings. So Ben Troop, the former Florida tight end, was our week 1 guest. He went 5-2. We had Stingray on week two, the big former Mississippi State, Alabama fan. He went 5-2. Our guy Cam Vaughn, LSU linebacker, last week we were in Baton Rouge. He went 4-3, went out on a limb. I think that Tennessee one really stung him. But either way, you got a chance here, Jake, to go 6-1 and jump atop the leaderboard. Now, this is very easy. We don't do spreads. We just do picking a game. That's a pick a winner. That's all it is. It's very easy. So you ready?
Let's go.
All right, let's dive into it. Our first game is we're going to start you off easy. It's going to be 2-1 UAB at number 15 Tennessee.
Man, let me think about this one for a second. I actually think Tennessee's total team points this weekend's a really good bet on the board. I saw it, I think 51.5 earlier. Yeah, it's going to be Tennessee. It's hey, let's play well. Let's let everybody stay healthy and move on.
Yeah, unless Trent Dilfer lines up under quarterback. I don't know if UAB's going to win.
I don't know if prime Trent Dilfer could save UAB in this one.
Our next one, it's a revenge game. Sneaky one here. It's 1-2 Georgia State at number 20 Vandy. They won this game a year ago, but this year it's in Nashville, and Vandy seems to be a little bit better.
Yeah, look, this Vandy team, it's funny. They're not sneaking up on anybody this year, but they don't need to sneak up on anybody. I mean, look, they're just good. Like physically, from a depth standpoint, I mean, you got guys out here making one-handed catches. I tell you what, only Diego Pavia could make reading not cool at Vandy. So, yeah, give me Vandy in a revenge game against Georgia State. I think Del McGee's still there. He's a guy that's a family friend of ours. Sorry, Del. It's Diego time.
And no 7th year for Diego, right? We don't want to see him.
No, like, come on, man. You either got to get on LinkedIn or go play somewhere else. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, get the Big Lebowski line. Get a job, sir. That's
exactly
the line.
Right.
All right, now it's going to get a little bit tougher. 2-1 Arkansas at 3-0 Memphis. So for some reason, Sam Pittman just loves the Liberty Bowl. He loves going there. So what do you think?
Man, I think Taylon Green looks really good. It's turning into Bobby Petrino's kind of masterpiece as an OC, the way he's developed them. I know a lot of people are high on Memphis. I get it. I don't know why Ryan Silverfield's throwing strays at Georgia. I don't know if Memphis is the best place to be making fun of crime at another place. Give me Arkansas. Man, I tell you, I think the depth won't hold up, but in the long term, but I like the Razorbacks in this one.
Yeah, Travis Williams need that defense to step up, man. They were 1 or 2 stops.
Disappointment, man. It's been a disappointment.
1 or 2 stops away from Ole Miss last week. All right, how about this is one that everybody's jumping on the bandwagon of an upset special. 3-0 Tulane at number 13 Ole Miss.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. Chambliss looks better than Austin Simmons. From a defensive standpoint, you almost feel like it's kind of he's a tougher cover. I'm going to go Ole Miss. Look, I like Summerall in his last year at Tulane. Will he end up at Florida? Will he end up at Kentucky? Will he end up at Arkansas? I'm not sure. I know which one he would probably prefer, and that'd be Florida. But no, give me Ole Miss. They're going to hold home court here and set up for a big one. I think against LSU next week.
Yeah, they get them next week. And yeah, I was talking earlier this week, quarterback controversy. I don't even know if it's a controversy anymore, if Chambliss plays well. But look, Austin Simmons was the guy. I talked to him at the Manning Passing Academy. They brought him to media days. It's just one of those things. Sometimes
just hurt, man. Just hurt.
Sometimes you lose it. All right, how about 1-2 Florida at number 4 Miami? College game day is heading there to Coral Gables. Florida, I mean, look, I'll make a case, Jake. They were a guy spitting on another guy away from beating USF. And last week against LSU, the defense played well. If they just wouldn't have turned the ball over, maybe they could have had a chance. So maybe they can keep this close.
I mean, keep it close. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. This Florida team, especially in the first half of the season, just continues to find ways to lose games. And, they were able to pull it out of the depths last year. I don't know if you can put that genie, pull the genie out of the bottle again this season. Miami may be the best team in the country. They've looked like the best team in the country to me the past couple weeks. You give Carson Beck time, he'll carve you up. I like Miami in this one. I actually like Miami to cover.
Wow. Yeah. When does Billy Napier, does he survive the season? What week does he get let go?
I'm from the school of, I think he'll survive the season just because the AD, is in his corner. They'll let him go towards the end of it, if not after it. But if it's me, I like what Virginia Tech and UCLA did. Just rip the Band-Aid off, man. So you can just go ahead and start talking to people, gauge people's interest, maybe be the first call to some guys that are going to get called by other schools. I would go ahead and tear the Band-Aid off. It's it's just tough for Billy. I mean, he's a good person at the end of the day, but he's going to make a lot of money. He's already made a lot of money. He's rich. It's shocking that you can't figure it out at Florida, because if you can't figure it out at Florida, I mean, I don't know where else you can go and it'd be better at this level.
Two more games, and this is where we get SEC versus SEC. We're going to start 2-1. South Carolina is at number 23, Missouri. Now, everything we've heard is that Lenore Sellers, as of this recording, should be a go. He did practice on Wednesday. So, look, even a not 100% healthy Lenore Sellers, I think, is still better than 100% Luke Doty. But What do you think in this one?
Well, I think a 70% Lenore Sellers is better than a 200% Luke Doty. But to be honest with you, I don't know if a healthy Lenore Sellers, I'd still pick Missouri to win this game. To me, Missouri is one of the biggest surprises in the country. Not because, there's questions of whether Eli's a good coach or that they don't have quality players. It's that Prebula can actually throw the ball well. And adding that to the running element with the two running backs they have, with Coleman on the outside, with the defense that we thought was going to be pretty solid, that can really run, this Missouri team, I think, can do some damage. Regardless if Lenoris was healthy or not, as I said, I would take Missouri in this one. I think they're one of the biggest surprises in the country this year. And I think we're going to look up in November and they're still going to be in the hunt.
Yeah, Ahmad Hardy's been so fun to watch, man.
He's good. Robert's good too.
Yeah. All right, last one, Jake. I figure we'd give you a couple minutes on this one because you got a little allegiance here. Number 22 Auburn at number 11 Oklahoma. It's Jackson Arnold returning home to Norman. This is the prove it game, right? All the hype that Oklahoma's gotten throughout 3 weeks, this is time to really prove it. Same thing with Auburn and Hugh Freeze. They look great. Big win over Baylor week 1, but this is kind of the big prove it game for both teams.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you look at this matchup, especially with some of the injuries that we're seeing. You got a questionable Marvin Jones Jr. We know that our Mason Thomas is out the first half. And then you look at Auburn, Jay Crawford being doubtful is really going to hurt. I don't get paid to tell people what I want to happen or what I hope happens. I get paid to tell people what I think is going to happen. And until Auburn can show me that they're either good enough in the pass rush to make up for their lack of ability in man coverage and just eliminate the time to put pressure on the quarterback, or somehow this back end gets a lot better from a leverage standpoint, from a technique standpoint, and from an angle standpoint in man coverage, I'm just not going to believe it. And with a guy like John Mateer, who, I picked to win the Heisman before the season, I think he's the best quarterback in the country. I don't think Auburn's offense will play bad, but I don't think they're going to be able to score enough points for what this defense is going to give up, which the defense has been a huge letdown because DJ Durkin just don't want to get out of man. He just don't want to do it. And I'll tell you why he doesn't want to do it. Because, I was in it for 10 years, and you have an identity. DJ Durkin's identity in the coaching world is he's a heavy man coverage, exotic blitz guy. That's what he is. And when you go to all these clinics and all these coaches go and talk to each other, it's an ego thing that, hey, I'm a man coverage guy. Well, you don't have the cats right now to do it. And you're getting cooked. South Alabama cooked you. So you can either swallow your pride and put your defense in the best position to get stops, or go out there and keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting roasted in the back end. So and I'm not saying that you never play man coverage. You got to play a little bit of both. And DJ does play a little bit of both, but it needs to be a little bit more balanced, in my opinion, with the personnel that they have, especially now that Jay Crawford's out. Look, it's zone coverage until it's man always, but until that gets fixed, Auburn's going to struggle against teams that have quality players on offense. they have so far, and I don't see that changing going up to Norman. So give me Oklahoma.
All right. So for the record, your official pick is Oklahoma. But I want to ask you, if Auburn were to pull this out, Jake, is this, to me, I feel like it has to be a low scoring game. Like I can't see them winning 38-34. I feel like this is 22-20, like low scoring, I think is what gives Auburn the best chance.
Well, I went on Locked On Auburn with Zach Blackerby, and we actually were talking about this. And that's why when you look at the matchup of Auburn's offensive line versus the front seven of Oklahoma, having a good enough run game in this game does multiple things. Yeah, it moves the ball. It gets first downs. It helps you in the red zone. But it allows you to control the time of possession because the less Mateer is on the field, the less chance he has to hurt you. The question becomes, what's the balance between running plays based on what the defense is giving you and then running plays based on trying to run the clock? Because a lot of what Auburn does in the quick passing game and the RPO game is really an extended handoff, especially when you see what they do out of stacked personnel with Eric Singleton Jr. So if you're able to win the time of possession, you're able to keep Mateer, off the field. There hasn't been a ton of game pressure in the second half on Oklahoma yet. You could say something similar about Auburn. I know, you run the kickback and gets Baylor to go up 2 scores, but I think time of possession is a key stat in this one. And I agree with you, Chris. If Auburn's going to win this game, I think it's going to be 27-24. I don't think it's going to be 42-38.
He is Jake Crane. I think he went all favorites. That's okay. That's fine. We're just picking winners. We're trying to climb up.
How many games was it? 7?
7, yeah, 7 games.
7-0. Parlay it, all money line.
I love it. Jake Crane, thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
All right, Gordy. Thanks, buddy.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Locked On SEC. Thank you guys so much for making us your first listen every day. Thanks to Tim Tebow for joining us. Thanks to Blake Crane, or Jake Crane, rather, not his brother, Jake Crane of Crane & Company for being our celebrity guest picker. Hey, it's another big moment of Locked On college football fans. Locked On Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drops every Thursday throughout the college football season, only on Fire TV. Go check them out. I'm Chris Gordy. This has been Locked On SEC. We will talk to you guys on Monday with our winners and losers from the weekend.